Hello, this is Ricky Tolefree, Jr., and this is my presentation for my Assignment 3, my final project for the Advanced Python class. So let me share my screen. All right, my screen should be sharing now. First thing we're going to talk about is the UML class. I'm going to go between the UML class and the code to explain what was done, and hopefully you follow. So here's the UML class. First thing we have the house builder abstract class and the room abstract class. Those are parent class to the concrete classes that are needed in this program. First, we're going to talk about the room abstract class. Here we have the get and set room size, the variable size itself, and that's going to be a parent of the room class. So in my room class, I'm going to have these methods, but also I added other methods like get room type, get type of room, the number of rooms, and set number of rooms. So let's look at the code. So here's my abstract. We are importing the abstract basic class, which makes this class itself abstract. And then I have my abstract methods. So any class that uses as parent have to use these two methods, right? Now let's go to the room class. And before we get there, I have details here. My name is Ricky Topher Jr., Professor Payam. The date that it's due, hopefully I will get it complete tonight and turned in. Today is the 23rd, 23rd, 23, but it's due tomorrow. And the Python coding tools that was used. Of course, the variables, assignments. Variables are objects in Python, but the assignments of those. Then we have object-oriented design, the properties, abstraction. Keep an eye out on properties in one class. I use properties in another class I didn't. Show you the difference. Then we have the abstraction, composition, aggregation, the super method, super use, the design patterns, which would be factories and composites. Here I'm stating that the design pattern composites been used due to the storage of objects in a list data structure. And the design pattern factory is being used to display the output of this house application. So again, this is in each Python file that I have. So I just wanted to go over it at least once. Again, this is my abstract class. I'm importing from the abstract basic class here, which made this abstract as well. Now we have the different rooms. Here I have my room, which is a child of the interface. Again, I have the get room size, and set room size. And essentially, I can add these getters and setters to the abstract, but I didn't. I guess that's a design, how you want your abstract class to be designed. So I define my new classes. My new methods with what I had to use. So I had to use these methods, which I define here as well. And notice that I did use the add property sign. And using the add property sign, I do not need to use the method to grab those values. I just grab the objects itself, the room size object, and the value object, and it returns those values. So that was for the room. Now from the room, the parent is interface, and the parent of room, room is the parent of bedroom, living room, kitchen, and dining room. And you see here, of course, I didn't define none of these methods because I'm getting these values from um, room itself because room is the parent. And I created my constructor, and I created a string object. So if I call the bedroom object, it gives me some value of that object instead of some machine code gibberish or location. So we want to do that, just define those values. I did the same thing for living room, kitchen, dining room. And if when you look at each Python, I am testing each value to make sure, whatever I define here gives me a proper output. And I will do all of this output in the factory. So I just commented it out. If you want to, you can uncomment the test and see if you see any errors. You shouldn't get any errors because my factory is working. That collects, that creates the classes, creates the objects, and outputs the values of those objects. So we're going to see that a little later. So let's look back at the UML. So here at the UML, we talked about the abstract room, how the abstract room is the parent of room, and how room is the parent of bedroom, living room, the dining room, and kitchen. I'm using these methods here because this is my parent. I'm using in the subclasses. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about is the house builder abstraction. Okay, I'm gonna need to update this link to have the abstraction connection. So I'll update this before I turn it in. And here you see this, I have my setters here for my abstraction. I can have all my setters and getters here again in my abstraction, but here I just did my setters, I get results. And then in my house builder concrete class, I have my setters, which I have to have here, and also newly created getters. So let's look back at the code and talk about that. So here's my house. This is my constructor, setting those values. You can ignore this part. This is when I was trying to, you can just ignore this part. Here I created a empty list of objects. And here's my data object, data structure, room list. And this is where I'm going to store all my room objects and be able to print those values for each object that I create. And then I'm able to add, I create an add function to add those values to the data structure. You're able to remove from the data structure, and then you're able to print those values out. And in printing those values out, I have a time.sleep, and this lasts for 5 seconds. This gives the user the ability to view what's been created instead of just a whole bunch of code, a whole bunch of output given to the user or the client. They're able to view it, read. Let me actually change this to 7 seconds to give it a little bit more time to review all of the everything that's getting created. And here's on another string object that if I create a house object, it returns some values. Then also tested this value here. Again, this will be put, I'm testing at each part and gathering for my factory to do my output of my factory values. So let me remove this. Right. All right, and then let's go with house builder. We talked about this house builder on the UML. If you see in house builder, I have my constructor. I'm going to my parent. I have my my setter. So I have to define that here, right? So I have my set. Oh, I have I have my set building type, set house type, set number of walls. And in these setters, I'm asking you if there is a value that's negative, I'm throwing the error saying, hey, your value needs to be greater than 0, or it has to be 0. And I'm returning those values. And here, if you see here, I'm not using the add property tool. I'm not using that tool here. So I will use actually the getters and setters to get values and return instead of using the objects that are being set. So I'm using the methods and not really using the objects to return the values. So you'll see that a little later. So here I'm setting the values. So here, hold on. And if you see here, to set the building type, I'm grabbing some value that's been sent through my method and setting the type. And I'm setting the type here. Here I'm saying it's an igloo. I'm saying it's a castle. I'm saying it's a boat. And here I'm setting the value. So I'm saying my materials are ice, stone, aluminum, house. I'm saying that my number of windows 4, 15, and 7. I'm also creating my number of doors in this get building type. This probably could be broken up a little bit better, but this is how I created it. Since I'm getting the building type, I'm going ahead and set the values of it. So just a little background how I got these values. If I got 3 rooms, 2 baths in front and back, I just gave a ballpark of 7 doors. And then if I have 3 rooms, it has to at least have 4 walls. I mean, no, for the most part, I guess you could say. And then, so that's 3 times 4. Same thing with baths, 2 times 4. And then living room, dining room, 2 times 4, and get some type of value. I did the same thing for castle. You have, again, stone type of material, 15 windows. I did the number of rooms, bathrooms, front and back. This is a ballpark figure, number of walls. The same thing with house boat. If you put anything value other than 1, 2, or 3, you get invalid type, and the program asks you to try again. And then I have a construct method that returns the value object. But if I didn't define the string method. So if you try to print out this object right here, it will give you gibberish, the machine location, and different things like that. That's not been defined here. I'm defining it as a constructor method, and that's going to be returned instead of the house builder object itself. All right. Again, here I did some testing. You can uncomment this stuff to test it, but it's no need. I will be showing the test part in the client portion. So let's go back to UML. So we talked about the abstract house builder. We talked about the house builder itself. Now, lastly, we have this is pretty much my factory class, which we have the igloo house, the houseboat house, and the castle house. So this is going to be the representation of my my factory class, and I'm going to run that in my client. So let's go back to the code. So if you go to different homes.py, ignore this. This is not being used, this house factory. This different homes is really my representation of my house factory. All right, so you have the igloo class, constructor, calling the construct method. You have the castle, same thing, and then you have the houseboat, same thing. And here in each one of them, we're setting those values. We're getting the building type. We calling the constructor that. We're sending the bedroom values, which for the first one is 3 rooms, 1 living room, 1 kitchen, and 1 dining room. I'm asking the user to hold on 10 seconds while we create this home that's needed. And then I'm printing those values out after it's been added to the data structure. So I'm using data structure here to output those values. I'm doing that for the remaining. If you look at the castle, bedroom size, living room size, kitchen size, dining room size, I'm getting those values. I'm printing out that construct. I said, hold on for, let's go ahead and set those values where we get 10 bedrooms, 2 living rooms, 2 kitchens, 2 dining rooms. So hold on, please. We want to create your home for you, and that takes 10 seconds. We create the home, print the home value out, and we do the same thing for houseboat. And here's my client. Only thing I'm asking the client to do is choose whether they want an igloo, castle, or houseboat. I can set it up where they can make the changes to the object, but for time's sake, we will do that for the user, and the client can mess around, change the values later. So let's run that. So build type, igloo, castle, houseboat. So I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna do 2 and 3 since that has. So I want a castle. Castle is material uses stone. Number windows 15. Number doors. Number walls. Please hold. Right. So it's creating the room. So it's saying you have 10 rooms, 200 square feet each, and this is a bedroom. Then we have 2 living rooms, 300 square feet. And then we have 2 kitchens, 200 square feet. And then we have 2 dining rooms, 175 square feet. And that's the end. So hopefully breaking it up and outputting all of this information was a lot better, doing some time splices between it, so I can give you the details of the home, from the outer, the windows, the walls, to the number of bedrooms, living rooms, bathrooms, and kitchen and dining rooms. So that's my application. We'll go back to the UML, and that's everything on my UML. We ended with the client. So thank you. I hope this was insightful, how to use the different Python programming tools. Have a great day. Great day. Thank you very much.